Welcome, I'm Diane, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be talking today about podcasts. Now, podcasts have officially been around for a couple of decades now, but it feels like within the last few years in particular, everyone is either listening to them, talking about them, or maybe even creating their own. So if this is something that you might have been thinking about, then I'm going to talk today about why now might be the right time to start taking podcasting a little bit more seriously. So grab your cup of tea and let's get into it. It is estimated that 74% of people fear public speaking, and I shared this last week in my video and podcast about why you might want to consider starting a YouTube channel. I definitely, for most of my life, fell into that boat. Until in recent years, I had the experience, as I've shared before, of speaking at my grandma and my dad's funeral. And when I had that experience, I remember not feeling the sense of nerves that I normally do because I had a sense of purpose as to why I was speaking. That experience also put into perspective for me the things in life that are really significant that there are to fear versus the things that cause us fear that we can often find a way to overcome. So by starting a podcast, it's a way to face the fear of public speaking in a much more relaxed way so that you can become comfortable with it, because there truly is bigger things in life to fear than public speaking. And this reminds me of one of my favourite songs by Baz Luhrmann called The Sunscreen Song, which you may know. And in it he says, "Don't worry about the future, or worry but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubblegum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that have never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindside you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Do one thing every day that scares you." One of the best things about podcasts is that they are usually around niche topics and niche conversations. So by starting a podcast, you are helping to start those conversations in your industry. Now, I know that a lot of people often fear positioning themselves as an expert when they don't feel like one. But by starting a podcast, you don't necessarily need to be doing that. You can be just the one who is facilitating those conversations. Now, a couple of ways that you might want to think about doing this is to discuss emerging ideas or emerging news in your industry. You might also want to review or assess or summarize new releases or new campaigns, whatever is relevant to your industry in your podcast. Over time, people will start to associate you with that particular topic. So over time, people will start to see you as an expert in that field, even if you don't feel like one. Having guests on your podcast is also a really amazing way to facilitate expert conversations without actually having to be that person. You're just the one that is asking the questions. You are the one, along with your audience, who are learning from the experts. You're just learning in public. Everyone likes to process information in a different way. So by starting a podcast, you appeal to people that prefer auditory ways of consuming information. And this goes back to what I shared last week about neuro-linguistics programming and the representational systems that we have. So we have different preferences as to if we like to process by sight, by sound, by touch or feel, by smell, or by taste. So by starting a podcast, as opposed to just having a blog or just using visuals on social media, you are able to connect with people that have that auditory preference. These might be the people that you often hear saying that they need to be able to hear something out loud to be able to process it. Or they might be the people who mention that they prefer audiobooks as opposed to actually reading books. So by having a podcast, you're going to be able to connect with people of different preferences. I also touched on this in last week's episode. By having a podcast, you are engaging in long form content. Now, short form content is what you would mostly see on social media or maybe in very brief email newsletters that you would get. And in general, short form content is easier to produce and easier to consume, but it also makes it easier to forget. And we consume a lot of short form content every single day. Just think about everything that you would see on social media and how much of that you actually remember. Do you actually remember the message and the creator? But when you engage in long form content, you are spending more time with that person. So you are more likely going to remember the key messages and remember the person delivering it. So podcasting, much like YouTube and blogs, falls into that long form category. But in a world where we are inundated with information, there is certainly something to be said for the power of short form content, especially as attention spans continue to decline. But the beauty about podcasting is that there are no rules as to how long your podcasts need to be. So you can offer podcasts that are particularly short or much longer, and you can experiment with these formats and see what is working best for your audience or actually deliver both to them. One of the biggest advantages of podcasting is that it is mobile. So you can, thanks to the phones that you carry around with you all day, listen to podcasts everywhere that you go. And as entertainment in vehicles continue to advance as well, listening to podcasts while on the go, while traveling, is also continuing to increase in popularity. So unlike social media or YouTube or a blog, where you often have to be sitting right in front of your screen to be able to consume content, podcasting isn't like that. Podcasting is radio reinvented. So it is a chance to go along with your audience when they are exercising, when they are showering, when they are cooking, when they are cleaning. The possibilities are endless in your opportunities to be mobile with your audience. Research from 2023 also shows why podcasting is radio reinvented, particularly in Australia. It has now surpassed the US as the #1 country for podcast listening. So the data from 2023 showed that 43% of the population aged 12 and over have listened to a podcast in the last month. Australians' frequency of listening also continues to grow. Weekly listening rose 26% to 33% in 1 year, and that came from the Infinite Dial. I touched on this last week as well, and this is the idea of flow. Now, you have likely heard this term before, either being used in a casual way or in the scientific sense. But flow in its simplest form is when you are completely engrossed or completely in the zone in something that you are doing. And you've likely experienced this several times in your week. It's just a matter of paying attention to what those things are. Now, what is most interesting about some of the research that has been done when it comes to flow is that we experience it more when we are at work than when we are enjoying leisure activities. And a lot of that has to do with work involving set rules and goals and having feedback loops as well. So work actually challenges us in a really interesting way when it comes to producing flow. Now, you often hear that people don't have time to start a podcast because they simply can't find the time at the end of the day, or they just don't have the energy in them when it comes to finishing a long work day. So the idea of flow then and the research behind it becomes an interesting one when it comes to these really challenging hobbies or pastimes. Because there is an opportunity by starting a podcast to challenge yourself, to push your comfort zone, And eventually, you might actually find that you have created an opportunity to engage in flow even more in your week. Last week, I mentioned that there is potential money to be earned on YouTube, and the same goes for podcasting. But once again, I will preface this by saying that there is also a really high chance that you may never earn a single dollar from the content that you produce through your podcasting. Directly, that is. But that is why I recommend that if you are starting a podcast, make sure you are doing it about something that you love, that you are happy to be talking about all the time anyway. Now, the way that you can make money through your podcast is through advertising. But generally, this can be somewhat difficult to do or has a lower return on investment than some other platforms because you need such high audience numbers to be able to engage in this. But another opportunity that you have to monetize your podcast could come from the partners that you directly engage. So if you choose to partner with a particular business that aligns with your audience, you might actually integrate their content into your podcast in a much more organic way. Just like YouTube, podcasts have a low to no setup cost. All you really need is your phone to be able to record your episodes. But with podcasts, you want to make sure that your audio quality is as good as it can be within the budget that you are working with. So I suggest that if you do have any funds at all to put towards your podcast, that you spend it on getting yourself a microphone. There are microphones to suit every budget, so you will certainly be able to find something that is going to suit your needs. And as you continue to progress on your podcast journey, you may want to invest a little bit further and upgrade over time. I also mentioned last week to give some thought to the changing economy that we are currently in. So we have been in an information economy. But now it's often said that we are moving into a creator economy. And nested within that is the attention economy. And that is for those who have been able to garner attention, say on their online platforms, and be able to convert that attention into an asset for themselves. Now, there are thousands or millions of people who are doing this all over the world. And if they're able to do it, then I absolutely know that you can too. One of my favourite pieces of advice comes from John Maxwell in his book, Failing Forward. In it, he talks about the different traps that hold us back when it comes to taking a risk. And he offers what I think, and I shared last week, is some really great advice. It is to get over it. And this reminds me of the spotlight effect, which psychologists say tell us that we often overestimate the amount of attention that we think people place on us, how much people are actually thinking about us, when in fact they are really just thinking about themselves and their own lives. So if podcasting is something that you have been thinking about, then I hope it is something that you will take more seriously. I do have a bonus tip for you as well. And that is if you are going to go to all the trouble and all the effort of starting a podcast, then why not just switch on your camera phone as well and upload a video as well on YouTube. Normally, I don't recommend to dive into too many channels at once, too many platforms, until you've started to get used to one. But in this instance, podcasting and videos and YouTube, for example, go so well together that it is a lost opportunity to not engage in both. Now, if you have listened or watched my video about starting a YouTube channel in 2024 and you're more inclined to lean towards that platform, then I would encourage you to do the same thing. If you're going to be doing that anyway, then extract the audio and start a podcast as well. Thank you so much. If you have found any of this content valuable, do please let me know by liking, subscribing, commenting, or rating wherever you are listening. I look forward to joining you next week.